Darrell, first of all, important to bounce back after Tuesday night?
Yeah, it is. It is, always is. When it's a disappointing performance, not a lot in the game first half, second half I think their front three showed their qualities. Invested a lot of money in their front three, and they produced the goods in a game where we didn't really get the flow that I wanted us to have.
But with the Vale this season, it's been very much a case of being able to bounce back pretty quickly after setbacks. And do you feel confident in your group to do that?
Yeah, I do. I think the mentality of the group that I touch on for a lot now over the last few months, and while I've been at the club's been very strong. The group bond very well together. They're a close-knit group, and they're honest lads, and that's what you ask for as a manager. They're honest. They assess their own performance. We review it, the good and the bad, and then we try and respond.
I've got to ask, with it being the transfer window, you spoke to Phil after the game as well on Tuesday. Expect to bring some names in. It's obviously getting close to the time now. How are things looking at the moment?
It's not like that, you press guys, to ask me about transfer windows when you're in transfer windows, is it? It's not like that at all, hey? Listen, what I say is that this is my fourth window, if I'm correct, if Baggy's give me the right information. But it's my fourth window, and for me, there's only 3 players remaining at the club for when we started. We're evolving all the time in the windows. I have massive belief in the recruitment team, the recruitment work that we do. I think you can see that in performance of squad and league position. And the best time to ask me that question is the end of the window, because work is ongoing to get the right players in the right formation, in the right position, should I say, to make us better. And that's key, better.
I feel like we're on the same path from what I'm going to ask you now as well. Patience you spoke about, that was something that was the summer window, and it obviously paid off with a lot of the players. So is that really important to make sure the right person comes in and fits in?
Well, listen, I've managed a lot of games now, so I never flap at it, to be honest with you. It's not time to panic. There's no time to panic at all. The team's doing very well in our first season back in League One, and it's about getting the right personnel that improves us as a group. And that's what the recruitment team are working hard to. And like I said, at the end of the window, we'll see where we're at and see where, if we've been able to do some good business.
You said the group's doing really well. Who to you has exceeded expectations coming from perhaps a lower division into League One?
Well, the last 3 years, the team that came through the playoffs, 2 got relegated straight back, and the other one finished 19th. So the competitiveness, I was on a chat with Darren Ferguson after the game. This is, in his words, and he's got promoted out of the division, I think 3-4 times. This is the hardest the division's ever been. So you've only got to look at the teams at the top, the teams that are below us as well, some big football clubs below us, and we're having a fantastic season so far. But we don't want to sit on the laurels so far. We always want more. Myself, my staff, the expectation levels on our players, we put a lot on them. But we're also realistic, and we like to be realistic, as in to say where we are with 21 games to go this season, we're absolutely delighted with. But we also want to perform better than we did the other night.
And the players that you've got as well, some of them haven't played in the first division. Division 1, in League One. There you go, got it. How have you and your staff adapted the game around to getting the best out of them to play in this division?
I've got very good, we've got very good staff. We've got players that are very hungry to want to learn, to grow on the training pitch, to want to get better. And when you put those ingredients together, you're hoping that the marked improvement in players continues. Because like I said before, I don't want players to think they've reached the ceiling and this is the level. We're always assessing that and judging that, and we want them to keep growing to be better players. And the more better individual players you've got in your team, you get a better team of players.
And there are chats outside of the club from fans and from people that follow the league as well about how high the Vale have achieved so far and what they could potentially go on to do. Do you phase that out? Do you follow that? Do you try and ignore it?
No, listen, every day, every morning I wake up and try and get better, get the football club better on the football department. And that's what we try and do as staff all the time. Staff meetings, discussions, player meetings, discussions, meetings with my boss, director of football Flickers. We're always trying to drive this club forward to get better. Sustainable, but get better. That's the message, and we keep working on all departments to improve that.
What's the vibe you get from your players when you talk about ambition? Is it something that you can really see in them that they follow that path?
Yeah, I'm a high expectation on players. The players know where I stand, and they know that I want to eventually get this club up another level. It's just quite as simple as that. But to do that is going to be very tough. This is the hardest step. Make no bones about it now. We've done brilliant so far as a club, as a group. But this is the hardest jump, because the gulf between some of the top teams in the division to say, let's say the bottom 10, the bottom 12 teams in this division is massive. It's never been bigger, and the league gets stronger and stronger. So we have to keep improving. We have to make sure that we recruit very wisely, get more for our pound as well, because we're never going to be in the situation, in my mindset, to match the big hitters in this league. You know, I think Clarke Harris was over £1 million, the centre forward for Peterborough a few seasons back. You know, we're never going to be in anywhere near those brackets to do that. So we just have to keep growing departments, improving. With that has to come a bit of patience, be a little bit realistic. But the demands I put on my players is always sky high, and always will be, because I'm an ambitious guy and I want my players to be ambitious.
Amazing, thank you.
Darrell, obviously, do you feel you're shopping maybe in oldies against the other teams being Parrots? You know,
I don't know. I think that'd be disrespectful. For me, I just think we have to keep working hard to get more for a pound, and the recruitment team and the side of the business has done outstandingly well. You know, like I said, this is coming up to our 4th window now, and we've been improving. So now I think it's the hardest jump. It's we have to be really creative with our recruitment. We do. Because we can't hit the standards that other teams can, which is football. That's a lot of teams in this division as well. So creative and keep working to improve us.
But I was just looking at the wage structure in Division 1 and Division 2, and there's an immense gap, isn't there, really, between certain teams and what they will pay for certain players, even teams that may be at your level, they're quite prepared to go into that. But you're not prepared to do that at all.
There is. Club isn't. No, we're not. We want to do things and keep doing things, and we want to be sustainable as a football club. The owners have done magnificent at this football club to back what they've backed, to build the infrastructure, which we've needed to do, we still need to do. So there's loads of work still to be done, but I say that in an exciting voice. You know, I think if you're already at a club that's got absolutely everything, you've got everything that for me is we're trying to build something here. It's something special we're trying to build here, and it's been a special journey so far, and we're trying to continue that.
The journey continues, of course. You go to Morecambe and you're looking to bounce back immediately. Do you have to lift the players? Because a lot of people and a lot of managers say you shouldn't need to lift the players. They should go into it with a lift.
My boys lift me. They lift me every day on the reviews of the games, the information, the quality of the conversations that we have. You know, I've managed some groups where I'm thinking I have to be the leader, and we've got a lot of leaders in that change room. We've got a lot of a leadership group in that change room that keeps driving, which makes my job easier. You know, I don't feel that I have to go in there and lift my players. They'll be ready to respond. They need to be ready to respond. They know that. They know the expectation from myself and my staff, and I'm pretty sure we'll get it.
And you'll do that against Morecambe, against a team that most people will look at, and so will the fans, and will think a gimme. It's not a gimme, and you'll know all about Derek Adams, what his team is going to put out on Saturday if we get the game. Hopefully we do.
It is. I mean, it's not long ago since we played and 1-0. It was a very, very tight game, and they go on and win the next 3 games. Everybody's wondering why we're not beating Morecambe 3-4-0, and then they go and win the next 3 football matches after that. So that just shows you what the game of football is and how momentum can swing. Derek's doing it, you know, by all accounts, nowhere near the biggest budgets in the league. They're always fighting to try and stay in the league. Derek's a talented manager who's doing his best and got some good results. So it's going to be a tough ask. It always is, Morecambe away, but we're looking forward to it.
What shape are you in then, in many ways? Any further developments?
I can do a bit more work on my fitness, George. And you know, like I just need a bit more running and get my 6-pack back, George. Other than that, we're all right, mate.
Okay.
Cheers.
Can you tell us anything about Jack Stevens, Darrell? Was today the last day Oxford could recall him?
I wouldn't know by yeah. Well, I do know, but it's on my phone. So, but for me, is that we're preparing. We've got Jack till the end of the season. We have 1 or 2 irons in our fire if that's not the case.
Yeah, got you. this came up with the Man City game last night with the fans sort of grumbling at half time.
Yeah.
It's the first time I've heard it at Vale for quite a while. I just wonder how you react to that as a manager.
I love our fans. They're passionate people. I'm a passionate people. So I mean, somebody had a pop at me for David Worrell, which is fine, but I have an understanding that David Worrell's been injured for a month and he's missed loads of training. He was probably our most effective player the other night. So I'm not there sitting there watching a game thinking, get Worrell off because he's having one. I'm thinking I've got to get David Worrell off because if he breaks down, we're not going to have him for Saturday. So there was some passion shown there from myself. They're going to get that. Fans give it me, they get it back, but I don't think they'd have it any other way with myself, though, to be honest with you, because that's why I am a heart on my sleeve guy. I sometimes have a nil back, sometimes you keep my mouth shut, sometimes the fans are absolutely spot on. And to be fair, the performance the other night wasn't a good performance. So, we take that and we try and galvanise it, but knowing our supporters, the way they've backed us and backed myself for the last 23 months, they'll be ready to go the next game, just like we will be.
I think it's worth saying, it's been obvious since you've come here, you've got that really good rapport with the supporters, haven't you?
I love them. I love the passion. Even the guy, the guy had I love that passion. We care. We're all here to care, to try and make this football club better. And I'm a custodian of the football club. That's what I am, and it's my job to make sure that my players are giving absolutely everything for the shirt and performing at a better standard than we actually hit the other night.
Just last one from me. We asked you about Alisson Will after the game, but not Tom Conlon. Can you say anything about Tom?
Tom Conlon's got a slight strain. Won't be long. That's on Tom Conlon. So hopefully it won't be too long.